I don't know. That's hilarious. All right, I guess we're live. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the After Party 2.0. It's Tuesday night. There wasn't a lot of news this week, but we have some fun topics to talk about. And I'm joined here by the Village Einstein, so the smartest member in the village, apparently. I might question that a bit from time to time. I don't know if that's totally applicable. If I get the word out there.
Applicable,
like cicada,
yes.
tomato.
Yes, the Village Einstein shall correct you. E equals MC cubed.
Okay, all right. Anyway, we got a few topics tonight. The main one is going to be like the Flash movie. I want to talk a little bit about some characters we may want to see in it. I think that'll be fun. And a few smaller topics, and I think Pagey's working on something for us to do later on. We'll see how that goes. We'll see what happens with that. I'm not sure. All right, so
hold on. Start the stream though.
Yeah.
I was very curious. I went down a TikTok. Don't worry. Actually, I have an exclusive.
Do you actually go to TikTok? You actually go on TikTok, really?
I don't do TikTok. I watch TikToks. I do have an exclusive though for the stream, but this will come after. So I found out two interesting things that Americans don't have or do. Can you confirm these? Okay. So when you sing happy birthday, what do you say afterwards? So you say happy birthday to you. Yeah. Do you say anything afterwards? You say happy birthday or sing happy birthday.
Don't sing the whole thing because apparently it's copyrighted.
Yeah. But what do you sing or say anything after you sing happy birthday?
We do it to you. We say it, HB to you. Then we say dear the person's name, then HB to you. That's usually the way it goes.
And you don't say anything afterwards?
It just depends usually, I guess. Not ceremoniously, not that way, but
yeah, I found out Americans don't say hip hip hooray.
No, we don't do that.
It must just be an Australian thing. I found out today that you don't say, you go
yes.
hip hip hooray, hip hip hooray.
Yeah. Haley there, that's exactly it. I'm not going to sing it, but yes, no, we don't do the hip hip hooray or whatever.
Yeah, I found out that today, and I was like, it blew my mind. It blew my mind because that's just something I'm doing since I was like, I can remember like 3 or 4 years old, that being a thing. It's a British, it must be just like a British Australian sort of thing. It's definitely not a Commonwealth thing because apparently it doesn't happen in Canada. So that, and also I found out and I don't know if this is just an Australian thing, but you don't have chicken salt.
What is that?
It's like chicken flavored salt. It's like crack for your food.
Nope.
Google chicken salt. Just Google chicken salt.
All right. Let's see.
I found that out today as well, and I was like, wow. You don't have chicken salt.
No, I've never even seen it before.
Seriously, like, can you find it on Google?
Yeah. I mean, I can order it. I can get it on Amazon right here. I can order it.
Mate, order it. Get some fries and just
the picture next to chicken salt has fries next to it. So
yeah. Oh, it goes off on fries.
This is confirm or denied this brand Chippy chicken salt.
Yeah, that's like the A tier chicken salt.
Okay.
You can get some other ones, but if you can get Chippy, you get Chippy.
So let me know in the chat. Should I try chicken salt when it arrives that week?
Yes, live on stream.
On stream, try with chicken salt for the first time.
As I said, it's like crack for your food. And also get Vegemite. I want to see Eric try Vegemite live on stream.
Oh, geez. I've had it before, actually, a long time ago. It wasn't very good, but I'll order some. Matter of fact, let me do that.
Look, honestly, yeah, someone's actually put it. My picture is me when I have chicken salt. My after party picture is me when I have chicken salt.
It looks like Vegemite is there a brand or is it just one company that makes it?
It's Vegemite.
That's just the company name? Okay.
Yeah, just veg. Or the company, it's by Kraft, but
because I see Marmite Vegemite as well. Vegemite and Marmite.
Yeah, don't get Marmite. That's for plebeians. That's like some British poo. You want
Okay.
Vegemite.
I've ordered both of them, so let's see. Like, we'll see when they get here, and I'll try it or whatever.
It'll be interesting. And also, I have the exclusive. Now that we moved on from my quiz items, I can reveal to the viewers that, and it can't be this week just for preparation time, but next week, a week from now, Eric will be live performing the WAP live on stream, the WAP dance. The reason that we have to have a week's prep is because Eric's going to have to change his camera angles, and he also has to practice. I'm not going to force it on him. You know, he's only had, I think, about 2 days practice. He needs the full week. So, and also he's got to reorganize the camera angle. So the WAP will be performed a week from now. I'd say opening number. I don't think we're going to leave it till the end. I think we might open with it. And if the chippies arrived, might have a bit of a celebration chicken salt party afterwards.
Okay. All right. We'll see how that goes. We'll see what happens. Ryan says he would donate to that. Really?
Honestly, I donate as well to get the WAP going.
John, welcome to the live show.
No lyrics. No lyrics live on stream. That'd be definite demonetization.
All right. Definitely. Look, Shane says Marmite is better.
You're lucky I don't have the YouTube link open, Shane. Otherwise, you may be getting muted because that is just lies. I was getting called a liar in the stream yesterday.
Yeah, I mean, you know, take the L's when you get them. Charles Burrow caught the stream. How late am I? 6 minutes in ish. So we'll see. All right. So now that we got something, got past that, I want to talk about something that popped
through that mentally.
Yeah, I'm going to talk about something that popped up on Twitter today, and I think some people are going to you're going to understand why this is so frustrating for me. So I saw this posted, and this list is from TV Guide. It's the top 100 best shows right now, meaning 2020. Okay, I will say this in this article, there are no other Arrowverse shows. The only other superhero show is Doom Patrol on this list, and it's lower on the list than Legends of Tomorrow. It's not past.
It's like double. It was almost like high 80s or something.
Yeah.
I think
so
like
I just think this is hilarious. Let me read this bit to you because I just can't even understand this. DC's Legends of Tomorrow might be the CW's zaniest and most underappreciated series, but beneath the show's quirky exterior lies a compelling story of substance. I'm gonna pause there for a second. Okay, taking that in. What compelling story of substance did we have last season?
I was going to say, doesn't Legend go for style over substance?
It does. It is not good at long form. Yeah, it's not a long form show. It's definitely more episode character driven than any of the other shows in the Arrowverse. So we're just going to take a full stop there and continue. So after introducing magic and expanding the scope of its world the previous year, season 5 saw Legends of Tomorrow lean into its greatest strength, a unique ability to combine nerdy pop culture and historical references with wild sci-fi lore, all while grounding its characters with real life issues such as family trauma and facing the mistakes of your past. Grounding is like, if you were to ask me to explain Legends of Tomorrow to anyone in the world, the word grounded or grounding or anything making those characters seem relatable, it just doesn't, it's not something that rolls off the tongue there because they've been puppets. They've had some of the craziest stories. I agree that the nerdy pop culture and sci-fi lore stuff is fine. Grounded is not a word that I would use. It goes, this is a show that both knows how to have fun while also telling an impactful story. While also telling an impactful story. I want to stress that. What are your thoughts on this, honestly? Because the list we don't have Black Lightning in this list. We don't have the Flash in this list. We don't even have, I don't think there's any other DC properties except for Doom Patrol. right?
It's just Doom
No,
Patrol.
Lucifer.
Yeah.
Lucifer is on there as well.
Oh,
I agree.
but...
From what I've seen of Lucifer, I can understand why they would put it in this list. But the other shows are not in it. So I just don't get it. I mean, this list is not. What is it? What do you think it is that makes these? So I have my theory, but I want to hear your thoughts on it. What is it that makes these reviewers get so drawn to Legends of Tomorrow? What do you think it is? I have a theory, but I want to hear what your thoughts are on this, because I've seen so many articles where they give Legends so much credit, and I'm not really sure where it comes from. So what are your...
I honestly have no idea. It honestly confuses me.
Okay. My theory is Legends is the most... Number one, it's the most disconnected show from the rest of the other shows. So you don't really have to watch any of the other shows. You can just watch Legends. And two, you don't have to think too hard with Legends. So if you're not a huge comic book fan, there's not a lot that you have to worry about, because the show doesn't really do too much of that. Legends is more interested in pop culture from everything but comic books, if you think about it. Like, they even had like the Supernatural TV show, which, by the way, Supernatural's in this list also. But they had that in there. They've done references to Back to the Future. They've done references to all kinds of things, but they're not so comic book referential. So I actually think reviewers are able to get into it because it's less comic book reference and more TV and movie reference. That's the only thing I can think of, because other than that, I don't really get it. I don't understand. It's not even the best long form show, honestly. So I don't know. I like, so let's do this here. Epic memes. Is that what we're
100.
doing? Is that what's going on? Okay.
100.
Oh, geez.
We will be playing Arrowverse hanging from a rope with your hands, not your neck.
All right. We might throw that in the end. So Gary with 1-9 super chat. It is not about the Flash delay. So we're starting out in a weird world.
Hold
I'm not
on.
sure. Is this Earth 2 or Earth 3?
We in the freaking Twilight Zone? What happened there?
Thank you so much, Gary, with the 199 super chat. Weird question. Do you guys have any kids? I have stepchildren. I don't have any biological children.
Well,
what about you?
I have a dog, so technically he's my child. But technically we are all children of Eric because he is daddy.
There we go. There you go. Nothing else to say there. Nothing else to say. We had another super chat here. Oh, wait. I spoke too soon.
Spoke too soon. Hold on. Rewind.
We're
out of the Twilight Zone.
Take the L on that one and switch sides. All right, here we go.
We're in the Mirrorverse.
Mirrorverse here. Is the Flash getting delayed later?
Actually, this works better because I'm looking at you. You're looking at me.
Okay.
Let's leave it like this. Works better.
Okay.
Yeah, leave it like that.
With a 199 super chat, is the Flash getting delayed later than January? You know, I just heard today that we're actually getting the Flash in December.
Whoa.
It's coming to us in December. So
2027. Yeah.
Thank you for the super chat, Gary. I really appreciate it. We don't know anything yet, but again, eventually you will ask and we will actually have an answer for you. And I think that's what matters the most there. Thank you so much. All right. Let's see. I think that's the only other super chat. Okay. So let's talk a little bit about the video game world, I guess, and what's going on with that. And I'm going to open up a tab here. It says that it's over at Bloomberg, AT&T to scrap the sale of Warner Brothers video game unit. And I read through this article, and it seems like the main reason why is because they have faith that the new Harry Potter game is going to do really well. And so they want to hold on to it, and they want to treat video games sort of like movies and TV shows, because they can do that development without, people can do it from their home easily. You can do voiceover work offset. You don't have to be there to do that. So it seems like from the way the article is talking, they're going to treat their video games at a higher quality. Maybe we're going to see like better games, like because of this, like story-driven games and things like that. What are your thoughts on this? Because honestly, they were just about to be done with this. I mean, from what I understood, they were getting ready to get rid of all of their gaming properties. So,
well, my big thing is that why don't they make it like there's an interconnected video game universe? Wouldn't that be the easiest way to make consistent sales? Where you can make a Batman game and then you could release a whatever game, like a spin-off that's maybe not the biggest character, but it'd get much larger sales because it's connected to that same universe. Like, wouldn't that, and that's like an interconnected story and various things like that, or I don't know, something along those lines. Like, to me, that seems like a logical thing to do, but they just want to shove Batman down our throats. I understand why they do it. Batman sells, especially to the general public. But like, I wouldn't mind some variety in the games in some way. I know some characters are really hard to do. I know it's hard to make a Superman game, and it's like really hard to make a Flash game. But like, why isn't there like a Wonder Woman game? Like, imagine like a Wonder Woman game in the vein of like, I don't know, like a God of War or something like that, something along those lines.
Like The Witcher, like the Witcher game is great with like,
you
could release constant DLC with new, like you could introduce Gotham, right? You could have Batman in Gotham, and then you could introduce DLC that brings Wonder Woman into that Batman game, and then have her there as a character, and then release DLC that brings like Green Lantern into the game or something, and you could continuously like build onto the story with that, and then eventually release a whole new game and then like repeat that formula again with different characters. I actually think that might work. I would be really interested in that. I don't mind DLC if you're getting a full story. I hate like the microtransaction stuff, but if you're going to give me like a whole campaign or a whole story with new characters, I'm okay with that. You know, I'm not sure. I'm really excited to see where they're going to go with this. So, you know, I'm I see what you're writing in the box there. Let's go ahead and pull this up. Dab on them haters. Dab on them. There we go.
That's the message of the day.
Laura had a question up here that I wanted to answer. Where did it go? Where did it go? Did it disappear? There it is. Do you think that Allegra will leave Team Citizen for permanent member of Team Flash, or do you think Cisco will create her superhero outfit? It's really weird to me because it's hard for me to even think about Allegra because of the fact that so many people seem to not like that character. So I haven't really put much thought into her character. Do you have any thoughts on this at all?
I don't know what they're going to do with her, but I can tell you that Eric Wallace created the character in the comics, so like I don't think he's going to be in a rush to get rid of her.
Yeah.
But I think they'll keep her on Team Citizen though, because I just think it's hard to. But then again, Ralph's not there anymore, so maybe I don't know. Maybe there is a slot open. I don't know what they're going to do.
Anthony says, "Isn't a Flash game canceled?" There's been several attempts to do games with the Flash. He's a hard character to put in a video game, apparently, unless it's like a battle game. Would a Green Arrow game work? I think a Green Arrow game would be very similar to a Batman game.
And just do a lot of long range stuff, though.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind that. That would be okay. So, you mean a guy hanging on a rope game? That's funny. All right, so let's move on here. Let's talk about, this is going to be a controversial one. Get ready for this. The CW is attempting to rename the Arrowverse now that the Arrow is over. So this is something that I've kind of joked about in my videos. Do you think collectively as the fan, the fandom is, do you think that we'll ever accept the CWverse as the name? I know that's what they want it to be, but I don't think it works. I think it will always be the Arrowverse for the fans, right? I mean,
yeah, I don't think it's that much of an issue. I think I saw a lot of people like losing their like left side of their brain over it or something like that. But it's just they need to brand it something. I think it's stupid if they actually call it Arrowverse if it's a brand that they want to do. Because spoiler alert, Arrow isn't a show anymore. So, and also to make it clear that it's on the CW and everything like that, I think it's fine. I think it makes 100% sense.
So you are Team CWverse then? That is your.
I wouldn't say I'm Team CWverse, but I have literally no issue with it being called CWverse. Like I personally am not going to go around referring to as the CWverse. Like I always call it DC TV or Arrowverse. So just because it's the more common terms.
Right.
But I have no issue with them labeling it the CWverse because I think it makes sense. Because you don't like it. It's like saying, it's like with everything like the MCU being called that. You don't call it the Iron Man verse.
Right.
Or you don't call whatever the DC thing's called. Well, even then, the DC thing's called DCEU. I've been calling it the DC multiverse of late.
Yeah.
But you don't call it the Man of Steel verse or whatever you want to call it. So
well, I will say this.
I think it's fine.
We've talked about this before, like with YouTube channels. We've had this discussion. There's a few channels we could talk about, but we'll just say branding is really important because you want to have something that you can sort of make your own. And I think calling it the Arrowverse limits what that could be. The CWverse makes it, and I think there was a comment here, I don't know where it went, but where they were saying how, does that mean could it incorporate stuff other than the Arrowverse shows, like other than DC TV shows? So you sort of leave that door open to introduce new things, and you're not bound, because 4 years from now when we have these superhero shows on TV, are people going to remember that it was the Arrowverse? I mean, we will, but new people coming in, they're not going to understand. They're not going to be searching the Arrowverse.
What if we get 5 years down the track and there's 2 or 3 other shows and we're still calling it the Arrowverse? People are like, what the hell's Arrow? Why is it called Arrowverse? Like, why is it called that? And I was like, oh, well, the show that started all, like, because what if they introduced, like, I don't know, let's just say they introduce a random show or people are just watching Stargirl, for example. Let's just say they're just watching Stargirl and maybe they're watching Legends or something, but they didn't watch anything before. And there's a thing like, and this is like 5 years. Oh God, let's hope Legends isn't around in 5 years' time. But God, season 11 of Legends or whatever.
Call it the Legends verse. It could be the Legends verse, right?
Don't jinx it. Don't put a hex on. Don't. You don't want to do that.
I see Westverse down there. Westverse.
But yeah, I think just because you are limiting it yourself, and you're really just saying like, oh well. And it sort of relates to that thing I was saying before. Like, you don't just call it the Iron Man verse because it was all this thing that kicked it all off, because it's going to grow past that thing. So calling it the CWverse makes sense. I don't understand why there was such a hoopla about it. I think it's just because we got so used to calling it Arrowverse. I think people are saying, I think that the CW is trying to make you change it, but they never put on their promos Arrowverse.
No, they never.
It was just a term that was always.
It's usually around. DC TV is what they call it. So
yeah, or they call it DC CW or CW on DC on the CW or something. It's not like they're like saying, "Oh my God, if you call it the Arrowverse one more time, you cancelled. You won't get it on your TV." So
I will say this:
from watching it.
I actually think a lot of places, like a lot of the conventions that I've been to, they call it the Arrowverse, and I think that a lot of the fans will always, the fans that have been around since the beginning will always know it as the Arrowverse, regardless of what they call it. But people saying Flashverse, you would still run into the same problem.
Same issue.
Yeah, it's just changing it to another show.
You can't call it DC TV. You can't call it DC TV verse, because what about Doom Patrol and Titans and stuff? They're still DC TV, but they're not on this. They can't be under that label. Like the CW is trying to say, here's our shows that are on the CW, like the DC shows. That's why it's called CWverse. Yeah.
You know what's weird though is the CWverse is so like, we've had the arguments before. I don't not between each other, but like in general with like viewers and stuff, that the certain shows are part of the Arrowverse even though they're not on Earth Prime now. And like I would say that almost everything we saw in Crisis is part of the expanded DC multiverse, like across everything. We've had the movie crossover now with Ezra on the Flash show and things like that. So it's no longer, I don't think it's a descriptor for what it is on the CW. So the CWverse would strictly be for branding of their shows, I think, which is why calling 100%. It the Arrowverse. Yeah. So calling it the Arrowverse, I think is fine, but we've gone so far beyond what the Arrowverse actually was, which was just a couple of shows, to being like the whole DC universe. So it's not even just confined to the TV shows anymore. So I think if you look at it from that standpoint, the CWverse is fine from a branding, like, standpoint or whatever. But for like the content that we create and the fans that we have and the viewers we have on our shows and stuff, I think Arrowverse is always going to be the accepted term, or DC TV, I believe.
Yeah. Like I would call it either like it's Arrowverse, but a lot of the time they just say the DC TV on the CW. I know it's a mouthful, but if I'm being specific, I'll always say DC TV on the CW. So yeah, like I think it was just people looking to complain about stuff, to be completely honest.
Oh, what is this? What?
It's a very descriptive and exact picture.
Is it? Okay. I'm just trying to figure out like how this works. Like am I?
It's edgy and it's pointing at you.
How am I edgy?
Hold on. I will. So it's not a statement, it's more me questioning.
Oh, okay. All right. So,
edgy?
Well, I mean, is it going to be edgy if I put my chicken salt on something other than fries? Or is there...
No, you can put it on chicken. You can put it on chicken nuggets.
Wait, you can put the chicken salt on actual chicken?
Yeah, I put it on chicken. You can put chicken salt on... Pretty much, it's sort of a... It's a very useful utensil. It's a Swiss Army knife of condiments. That's what I'll call it.
Oh, look, here we go. Defunct. I thought it was pointing at the edge. That's it. The edge is edgy, not me. The edge of the screen is edgy. There we go.
Well, technically, it's a double meaning.
What are potato cakes? I don't even know what that is.
I think Tom lives in Victoria and they say stupid words. He's talking about potato scallop. Look at potato scallop. That's what he's talking about. They say weird things down there.
All right. Hold on. Let's look that up. Oh,
it's like a slice of potato.
Yeah. We have this here. It's just we do it in reverse. We call it scallop potatoes instead of potato scallops. So it's like. But we never call it. What did he call it? We don't call it whatever he calls
potato cake. Yeah, it's an alien nation down there that have two heads.
Okay, all right. Let's jump over to some Marvel content and talk a little bit about this here. This Rotten Tomatoes score of the New Mutants.
Oh, you put chicken salt on them. Yeah, you put chicken salt on them. That's and also you put chicken salt on. Well, you'd probably call them corn dogs. You could put chicken salt on them.
What are they called for you?
I know. I call it like a battered sav.
Okay, yeah, we don't call it that.
It's like a Savoy sausage battered, and it's called a battered sav.
Yeah, we don't do this.
Or they call them a Pluto pup sometimes. A Pluto pup.
Okay. I'll have to look all that up. All right, so I haven't seen this movie yet because the theaters around where I'm at haven't really fully opened yet. So I plan on seeing it this week whenever I get around to it. Have you seen this movie yet?
It comes out tomorrow in Australia. I might go see it if I can be bothered.
All right. So let me ask you this. This is a preemptive, like we will talk about this movie next week, by the way, you guys. Probably as spoiler-free as possible. But this, I didn't really expect this score, honestly, because everyone was saying, oh, well, it's this movie. It's a horror movie. It's got superheroes in it. It's a director that really cares about his property. This is supposedly, he came out and said there were no reshoots. So this is the vision that he had for it. So this was actually what we don't normally get. Normally we get a movie that is like horrible and they go, oh, it's because of the reshoots or because of studio meddling or whatever. This time the director came out and said that none of that actually happened, that this is the cut of the movie or whatever. 2017 was when this was set to be released. Several years later, into post-production, and the movie still comes out, and it's a hot mess, according to a lot of people reviewing it. So I want to know from the chat, without any spoilers, anybody that has seen this movie so far, do you agree with this score? Do you agree with it? I thought Dark Phoenix was pretty lame, in my opinion. It wasn't great. I've heard this is a little bit better than Dark Phoenix, but I don't know. So, look, Vasily, release the Josh Boone cut. Well, supposedly it's his. I'm really sad because
he might be going the David Ayer route though. Say it's his cut, and 3 years later complain that's not his cut.
Yeah. I'm gonna go see this like early in the day when the theaters are very empty, so I can be in there primarily by myself. But Yeah, I actually had pretty high hopes for this because Magic is one of my favorite characters in Marvel. I think she's a really cool character, a good combo of powers. And so I'm kind of sad that the movie is being, seen in this horrible way. And they say that she's probably one of the best parts of the movie. So Shane says he doesn't agree with the score. Release the Schumacher cut. There we go. So we will talk about this next week. Speaking of, we're also going to be talking about the new Superman animated movie, which is titled Man of Tomorrow, correct? That's the name of it?
Yeah, Superman, Man of Tomorrow.
Okay. So if you have not seen it yet, you guys have 7 days to watch it. And we are going to talk about it next week. That's going to be probably one of the main topics. Because I think from what I've heard, can you give me like a easy, simple like thoughts on the movie before I watch it? Because you've already seen it, right?
Oh, it's like another take on his first days of Superman. So it's him like becoming Superman, and because it's like a new DC animated universe sort of thing.
Okay. Right.
But yeah, it's got Lobo and Parasite.
Okay.
In it.
I'm excited. I'm going to watch it this week, and then we'll talk about that next time. So Cody says it was supposed to come out in 2018, I guess. The new Mutants. Anyway, it's had several years in post production, plenty of time to get it right, I guess. All right, let's jump into the main topic. We're 30 minutes in, so that's good. We're doing good on time. So the main topic that I want to talk about is over at Nerdist. This article came out last week, I believe, and it's 7 other multiverse worlds we want to see in the Flash movie. As you can see, this is the first one here. And it says the Arrowverse Flash. And it says the most likely DC live action universe to appear would have been that of the CW's Arrowverse. And who better to represent the 6 CW based DC shows than Grant Gustin as the Flash? After all, Ezra Miller and Gustin's Flash has already met once in Crisis on Infinite Earths, establishing the big screen DC EU as part of the larger multiverse. I'd say it's time for a reunion. Besides, after 7 seasons playing the Scarlet Speedster on TV, it's only fair to Gustin to make some kind of contribution to the cinematic Flash endeavor. Thoughts on this? I think that, by the way, my thoughts on it, absolutely this should happen. I think that he should definitely be in the film. Your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I think it's return serve. That's what we call it.
Didn't they confirm that Ezra's Flash got his name from the TV Flash based on the interactions?
Yeah, Jim Lee confirmed that at the fandom. Like, he didn't have to say it, and he went out of his way to confirm that.
Yeah, so I'm going to say as a fan, that makes me very excited because it's cool that is a huge thing, honestly, like to take from TV to the movies. If you think back to the Marvel stuff and everything they've done with their all connected worlds or whatever, nothing ever at that level ever crossed over between TV and movies. Giving the Flash his actual superhero name from the TV show seems like a big deal to me. So I would be very surprised if Grant Gustin doesn't show up as a cameo in the movie. Now, yeah. I'm wondering if it's going to be a speaking part or we're just going to see him in like a flash of the multiverse or something like that. I don't know, but I think it has to happen for me, honestly.
By the description that they've been given, it sounds like it's really going to take a deep dive into the multiverse. So I would assume that he's going to be in there in like for more than just like 10 seconds. Like I'd say like a decent cameo. But I'm expecting this Flash movie to be long, like 2.5 hours. Because I think they're going to deep dive into the multiverse. Not like a ridiculous amount of speedsters, for example, but I think like really exploring the DC multiverse and what it was and now is. Yeah, so I think he'll be more than just showing up and going, I'm from TV, and then running away. Like, I think you'll be there.
Yeah. Tom is saying they're just going to reuse the scene from the TV show. I mean,
they won't reuse the scene. They'll make a new scene.
Yeah. So, honestly,
it wouldn't make sense. It wouldn't make sense for them to just reuse the scene because that scene is from Grant's perspective. Like it's done for Grant's perspective. If they put that in the movie, it wouldn't make any sense. Like they'd have to do a completely new scene with Grant coming in, but make it that they've met before.
So Think Noodle here goes, I don't know why DC is expanding on multiverse in their live action when it was one of the worst things to happen in the comics, especially after Flashpoint. Bad ideas and laziness all around. Any thoughts on that?
I don't know why DC is expanding on multiverse in their live action. Because they're not going for the whole
is one of the most. I think the multiverse is one of the most exciting things from DC, to be honest.
Yeah, they're not going for that connected universe. They tried and it didn't work, and they know that the multiverse is the way to make it different, but also to give them flexibility in regards to what they do. Marvel can't do something like Joker or like the Batman and whatever comes next in regards to those type of movies that DC decides to do, because their model is the connected universe, which 100% works for them. But DC has that flexibility where they can do those solo movies, but it doesn't work in regards to a connected thing. So they have to do the multiverse. Just because you don't think it worked in the comics, even though I disagree, it's not the same. It's not the same canvas, if you want to call it. It's a different thing. Multiverses is 100% the way to go.
Yeah, I'm not really sure. I mean, I understand if you don't like it. And as far as the bad ideas goes, I don't know what the laziness aspect is, because I feel like it takes quite a bit of creativity to combine these characters from the multiverse, in my opinion. But I mean, maybe I'm not seeing something.
I think Jim Lee summed it up. If you don't have the multiverse, you don't get interesting takes on certain characters, and you don't get certain diversity options either. You don't get that Calvin Ellis Superman if there's no multiverse. You don't get other certain takes on characters. You don't get the Crime Syndicate if there's no multiverse, and various things like that. The multiverse is just cool. It's just cool.
It's one of the things that I really love. So, I mean, I understand if people don't like it. I'm not a big fan of certain aspects of storytelling as well. But I think DC trying to get rid of their multiverse and then realizing that they kind of needed the multiverse, maybe that's why it seems lazy and clumsy. But I don't know. So,
it constricts you to a sandbox.
Yeah,
it puts you in like, oh, you can't exceed these barriers. When you make it, oh, there's only one Earth, there's no other Earth, and stuff like that. And then it forces them to go through time to explain everything. Oh, no, this happened in the 80s, or this happened in the 40s. And then it sort of can contradict some stuff that happens later. But if you set it on different Earths and everything like that, you get different versions. It allows you to do different things. The multiverse is just much better.
Yeah, I agree. I would love, so Think Noodle, if you could expand a little bit on your thoughts, I would love to hear them, because I'm kind of curious to what it is you don't like about the multiverse, because I'd like to get a bit more of your perspective on that. All right. The next one in this list is the 1990s Flash. So this is the John Wesley Shipp. This is if Grant Gustin's Flash gets to show up, then I think the original live action version of Barry Allen should too. I'm talking about John Wesley Shipp, who played him for one season of the Flash TV series, 1990 and 1991. Now, fans who watched the Crisis on Infinite Earths crossover last year know that Shipp's version of the Flash died saving the multiverse. However, a new multiverse reformed after the events of Crisis, meaning another version of the 1990 Flash may exist out there somewhere. If Grant Gustin shows up, we think Shipp should too. So, fun fact, and I don't know, maybe people do know this, but I believe that the Flash TV show that we got was due to the extreme popularity of the Batman film, because DC saw that there was a way to take their characters and put them into live action. And so they decided, instead of doing a Flash movie, they wanted to do a Flash show. And I think a lot of people fondly remember this show. I remember watching it live when it came out when I was younger, and just falling in love with the character back then. So, but I don't know how important it would be to have him in the film. It would be great, but I don't know. I mean, do you think there could be too many versions of Barry Allen in the movie, or what do you think?
I don't think this is that necessary, to be completely honest. I think him appearing just in the show different points was enough. I just personally don't see why they would feel the need to put him in there, unless it's literally like they see him when running through the Speed Force or something like that. I don't think you're going to see anything where like there's a conversation happening or anything like that. I could just maybe get like, whether it's a verbal reference or, as I said, like they see him running through the Speed Force or something like that. I don't see it being anything outside of that, and I don't think they'd have any desire to do it. I don't think there's a need to do it. I think with Grant, there's a need to honor that what happened in Crisis, but with this, I don't think there's a need to do that.
Yeah, I will say this. So I feel like this version of the Flash, his story has been told from start to finish.
Yeah.
I also want to point out that I feel like that when it comes to the Arrowverse and in DC TV in general, that we are actually getting resolutions to characters from past properties. And you don't usually get that on TV shows. Like when a show ends, however it ends, whether it ends on a cliffhanger or it gets canceled or whatever, you don't always get any resolutions. Like this, he was able to give a resolution to this character and this universe that this character was in. And that's not something that happens very often. I think that the way his story ended as this version of the Flash needs to just end there. I don't know if we need to have him come back. I love him as this character, but I love the way they wrapped it all up and, you know, told his story. So I don't know. I don't know if I would want him back or not. You know. So Think Noodle continued on here. He goes, it's basically saying we can't create a continuity, say we'll just have it's a different universe. And also if a movie fails, it's a different universe. It gives writers a free for all in writing. I don't know if I agree with that because I feel like it's giving you multiple continuities, not just one. And if a movie fails, it's a different universe that gives the writers a free for all in writing. I mean, I guess if you're talking about the DCEU like before now, maybe, but I actually think they're going to use it as a stepping off point with the Flash film. So I'm going to give them an opportunity to see what they do with this. Do you have anything to add to that? I mean,
it's basically saying we can't create a continuity, so we will just say it's a different universe. Yeah, but it's not like they're just they're just taking Barry Allen and going, oh, let's just redo it again. Like they're doing a different character. They're doing a different take. It's a completely different personality that's now that mantle, which you can't do in the straight continuity. If you don't have the multiverse, you don't get stuff like Kingdom Come. You don't get Gotham by Gaslight. You don't get Injustice, various things like that. The multiverse opens the doors to those stories. I don't know how you can complain about it, to be completely honest. It just opens up the door to more storytelling without, as I said, being trapped in that sandbox.
Right.
It's such a pro to DC, and Marvel uses it as well, but obviously DC takes more advantage of it. And
Marvel has it, they just don't utilize it the way they do. Yeah, I mean, that's the way I feel about it. We had a super chat here from Josh Z. Thank you so much. Grant Flash should do what John Wesley Shipp did for him and give him the lecture about breaking the space-time continuum, or be the one who tries to stop Ezra. I don't know if he's going to have that big of a role in the movie, but it would be funny to see Grant like scolding Ezra about the Speed Force, because you know the fans would be like, you can already see it now. After you come back from the movie, like how dare Barry from DC TV tell this other one what to do after all the trouble he's had and everything. Like no one believes that you can make mistakes and give advice for mistakes that you've made. Like you should always be held responsible for every mistake you've ever done that you can never change. So that would be kind of interesting. Do you think they would have this kind of role in the movie, like a mentorship, or do you think that's just going to be that he will just do his little thing and then leave, like out from the movie? His little scene, I guess.
Oh, I couldn't see them doing the lecture thing. I could see them doing something where, like, Grant goes, "What happened? Like, what's going on here?" And he goes, "Oh, I ran back in time to save my mom." And he's like, "Oh, did that? Didn't go well." Like, just make I can see them making a joke of it, like an in joke sort of thing. Like, "Oh, you did that." Yeah,
this is funny.
He goes, "Oh, yeah, we called it Flashpoint."
You ready for this right here? If this is true, this is hilarious. By the way, if anyone wanted, over the course of 6 seasons of Flash, Barry's identity was revealed to 67 people. 21 of them are dead in the universe.
Wow, well, that's almost 1 in 3. So, Eric.
Yeah?
It's you, me, the village idiot. We're in a room. Who's dying?
Definitely. I mean, it depends. Are we facing off against someone in apartment 4? I'm not sure.
No, but I can confirm the battle to decide who is taken out is a chalk-off.
Then I would win for sure, 100%.
Yes, I would like to think I come second place, but I'm not going to talk myself up. Would you like to show my drawing, or are we not showing it on
choke or chalk?
This was more relevant when Ezra Miller was on screen.
You should have mentioned it. I would have done it then. Choke or chalk?
It's
Well, for
still
me,
relevant,
it's chalk. It is always chalk for me. Never the other way. Always chalk.
Well, I'm going to agree with you, but I'm also going to think, is it also chalk and salt?
It could be. We'll have to see.
There's the one and only dad joke for the stream.
I know.
You're welcome.
Yeah. All right. So the next one here is the 70s Wonder Woman. This is the one that we all know that's been not introduced into the DC universe, the actresses, but not the character. It says, speaking of Christ on Infinite Earths, that TV crossover made reference to almost every single DC comics-based TV series from Batman 66 to 2002's Birds of Prey. Almost everything got a shout out with the big exception of Linda Carter's Wonder Woman. Word was they were saving Carter's Wonder Woman for something bigger. Could it be this Flash film to give Carter the chance to twirl her lasso like it's 1977? We'll forgive her if not being in Crisis if the big screen appearance in the Flash. Can I give my theories? I think we're going to see this Wonder Woman referenced in the Wonder Woman movie. Not like a cameo, but like maybe a TV show spot or something like that. I think that might be what's going to happen. But I don't think Linda Carter is going to redo the costume or anything like that. That's just me.
I think she's already been confirmed. She was in one. They did a TV spot promoting Fandom, and they showed her cameo. It's like her jogging in like a 80s jogging outfit.
Not in the Wonder Woman suit though, right?
No, it's like her in like an 80s with like a visor and sunglasses or something like that.
That's cool. I'm okay with that. I don't know if this would work in the Flash movie though.
No.
I don't know how they would do that. Because remember, this list is for the Flash movie specifically. So I don't know if this would work. I love Linda Carter. I think she's a great actress, and I think she's got a great personality and stuff like that. I just don't know how it would work with these characters. So would you want to see her in the movie, or would you be okay with her not being there?
And Flashpoint, I really couldn't care. If she showed up and be like, "Why are you here, random?"
All right, Richard Donner's Superman. So it goes, Richard Donner's Superman, the movie started all back in 1978. So some of the nod of the film should be in order. Obviously, Christopher Reeve is no longer with us. And we hope Warner Brothers isn't tempted to bring back Reeves as Kal-El via CGI. They would not do that, probably. They have a solution starting in them in the Kisser. Brandon Routh played an older version of the Donnerverse Man of Steel already in Superman Returns. Last year, he reprised that role in the CW's Crisis on Infinite Earths event. The storyline explains how Superman became a darker version of the character based on the comic book series Kingdom Come. As the multiverse is reformed at the end of the crossover, Routh Superman is seen again, smiling and wearing his traditional colors. Let's see if that version of Superman, complete with the John Williams music, makes an appearance and the Flash fans would lose their mind. I wouldn't mind him being in there, but I think that might be asking for too much Arrowverse, honestly, or too much DC TV. What do you think? Because, I mean, Brandon Routh was supposed to be the successor to the Richard Donner Superman movies. So that's kind of how that all happened. So I wouldn't mind seeing him there. I just don't know. Like, I don't see a connection with that character being there. You know what I mean? So thoughts on this? Would you maybe, I mean, I think we maybe see Henry Cavill before we'd see Brandon Routh, right?
I guess it just matters what I don't know. It's like, because if he shows up, I don't like. Doesn't it make it a bit OP to have like maybe potentially two Supermen if Cavill showed up as well? I'd love to see it. It'd be very cool, but
let's be honest, the suit is movie ready. The suit is movie quality already. So
yeah, 100%. I don't know. I don't see it happening, but I'd love to see it. But I just don't know how they'd implement it, to be completely honest. Because you just can't make it like a lot of just running through the multiverse and just like, oh, well, I'll spend 5 minutes on this Earth. Oh, I'll spend 5 minutes on this Earth. I think it has to actually have some sort of relevance. And I think that's why I think only having Grant show up is the only one that really makes sense.
Can I say, I want to say something about this that might be a little bit controversial, but I think some of the problems we had with Crisis was the amount of cameos we had. The story suffered. Okay, so Crisis wasn't a big story to begin with, right? We talked about that before. So making a story around it and fitting it into the shows didn't seem like a big problem, honestly, time-wise. But then they tried to pad it with all of these multiversal aspects that I think was great from a fan standpoint, but not necessarily great from a story standpoint. So if they're doing a movie and the story has to be the most important part, I think too many cameos may make it feel like the first bits of Crisis, if that makes any sense. So look, they're saying I'm edgy there for that comment. So I don't know. Dr. Smarty Pants with a $5 super chat here. And he says, any thoughts on my theory that Grodd could be the villain of the second Flash movie or a future movie involving the Flash, also playing Avengers game? I'm probably going to be doing the Avengers game this weekend. I don't know if I'm going to stream it or not. We'll see. I'm excited about that. Grodd as a villain in the Flash movies. I mean, they would have a bigger budget to use in terms of CGI. So you get to see more of Grodd on screen because of that. So that's kind of good. Do you think Grodd is big enough to be a movie villain, or do you think he's a character that works better on a smaller scale?
I think you got other people. I don't think Grodd really, unless he's part of the Rogues or something like that. I don't think you do Grodd as a standout, like a standalone villain. Yeah, I don't see that work. Definitely not the second movie. The second movie will be Reverse Flash, 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, I couldn't even see him being just a solo future movie at least.
Charles Burrow with the 1.9 super chat. Thoughts on Matt Ryan campaigning to be on the HBO Max Justice League Dark? It's like hot potato with his character if that happens. Like he's gonna just jump around from property to property, I guess, or whatever. I don't know. I mean, I'll be honest with you. To me, Constantine barely works on Legend of Tomorrow. I wouldn't mind him moving to another platform, to be honest. What do you think about this?
I think they'll probably cast someone new. I don't think I'd be surprised if he got cast on there. I think just because he's been playing for so long on different mediums and stuff like that, they're probably like, well, this is a new thing. We'll just cast our own.
I mean, they'll just probably bring Keanu back to play Constantine.
I don't know why. I don't think he was I don't know why. He played like an American Constantine. It was a bit strange, but
very different from the comic book version.
Yeah, they'll cast someone different. I think they'll cast someone new. I'm pretty sure.
Elizabeth Moore with a 199 super chat. I'd love to see a live action DC Bombshells movie. That, I mean, based on what they're putting out, that's something I could see them doing 100%. What do you think? Do you think we'd see something like that in the movies?
Yeah, like I wouldn't be surprised if they did that. Like it'd be easy, especially if you got those characters already set up in like different franchises, if you want to call them, the DC movies, and you go, here's a mostly all-female movie, but it's like in that Bombshell style. So you have like Bombshell Harley Quinn, Bombshell Catwoman, Poison Ivy, etc. Yeah, I could 100% see them doing that, but not for a while.
So Laura here says, I saw an article that said they will not do Reverse Flash as the villain in the Flash movies. I find that very, I'm not saying you didn't see the article, but I'm saying I find that hard to believe they wouldn't do that, to be honest.
It's not in the Flash movies. They said that Reverse Flash won't be the villain in Flashpoint, which I sort of prefer, but I'd want him to have a presence. Like I didn't really think he'd be the villain in Flashpoint because you're sort of wasting him, or you're just going to be you're doubling down where he'll be the villain for Flashpoint and another movie where I think you would want him to have a presence in Flashpoint and then he'd be the villain like the movie. West Allen, Apartment 4. That's my Harry Wells quote from season 4.
Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, I think Lara might have misread that, or the article misquoted the original. Probably the latter. The article probably misquoted the original source.
So Tom here with a slightly edgy $2 super chat. No Man of Steel 2. We want a Powerpuff Girls movie. Well, I can tell you that I want a Man of Steel 2. I've wanted a Man of Steel 2 since before Batman v Superman, personally. As far as Powerpuff Girls go, they're doing a live action, right? So I guess whatever.
Yeah, it's when they're in their 20s and they hated being superheroes when they were younger. That's the premise for the movie, which is interesting.
Yeah. All right, let's move on to the next thing here. Christopher Nolan's Batman is the one they want to see.
What? Yeah, look, I think that's still a possibility to show up in this movie. I think that it wouldn't surprise me if, I think I put on Twitter, I was like, if they got Bale to be in this movie as well, I think this movie ends up being an easy billion, and you could argue get up to like a 1.5 billion. Like, it'd be one of those movies that like everyone would just flock to see. You got the three quintessential live action Batman,
all in one movie.
Movie Batman. Yeah, all in one movie.
What about David
all on screen at one time?
David Mazouz in it? I mean, wouldn't that work? Or
I think I'd rather chop, maybe not my index fingers off, but definitely my pinkies. Rather than say that. Yeah, I would definitely pass on that.
Okay, so let me say, would be great. Would be great for the movie. Ruby Rose. Let's bring her in as Kate Kane and have her in the movie. It could be her send-off. Like, we could wrap up her story in the Flashpoint movie. I mean, that would work, right? So it says here, it's highly doubtful that Christopher Nolan's Dark Knight trilogy will get heavily referenced in The Flash, or that Christian Bale would make any kind of cameo. Bale seems very done with playing Batman, having once said that he felt The Dark Knight Rises was a perfect ending to his iteration of Bruce Wayne. Nevertheless, the final movie in the Nolan saga did set up the Joseph Gordon-Levitt's character to take over as Gotham's new Batman. So why not fulfill that promise and give us a JGL cameo as the Cape Crusader of his own universe? So they're saying they want the Christopher Nolan Batman Joseph Gordon-Levitt version to show up. I don't know how I feel about that.
Yeah, I'm not too sure about that. I think I might have to give that a pass.
Okay. Kate Kane confirmed? Is that what we're doing here for the multiverse? Ryan Reynolds' Green Lantern is the next one on the list. All right. Let's read what they have to say here. As we've seen from the Deadpool 2 at his own social media account, Ryan Reynolds has no problem poking fun at the big movie bomb Green Lantern. Based on how good-natured he is about it all, we think he'd hop on board for a cameo as Hal Jordan if offered another opportunity to be self-deprecating about the whole experience. Just please, whatever they wind up doing, make that CGI costume look better than it did in the actual Green Lantern film. So, do you honestly feel like the Green Lantern movie gets too much hate based on what it was?
Yeah, I think it gets 100% too much. Is it no? Is it good? I wouldn't say yes. But it's definitely not like bad or terrible. It's just that I've always said this, Green Lantern and the way that they did the movie as well, it was never going to work as a movie. The Green Lantern, especially when the Green Lantern core, and when you involve all the colors and everything like that, different colored cores and everything like that, and sectors or sections of it, there's so much lore to it and everything like that. It's so hard to do in a movie. And it wasn't even a very long movie either. Like, there's the extended cut of it as well.
It's almost like you need a Green Lantern show, but you wouldn't have the same budget you would have with a movie, which is what makes
it's like, yeah, it's like, I think what they're doing now where they have this show coming to HBO Max is 100% better, because you could probably do each season probably focuses on the Green Lanterns, obviously, but another color. So whether it's the Red Lanterns, I guess, and maybe then the movie can, if it's connected, can focus on the Yellow Lanterns and everything like that. Sinestro. There's so much lore to it that it's really hard unless you do a super basic movie, and they didn't do the super basic movie. They tried to involve the Guardians and everything like that. It's hard. And then it wasn't even that long of a movie to begin with anyway.
Yeah.
So it's not I don't think it's necessarily a bad movie. It's just a not very good movie. It's just like it's probably like the epitome of just mediocre. But like, yeah. And the funny thing is that this was meant to be the beginning of the DC universe movies.
What an odd character to pick to kind of.
I always thought it was weird. The second movie was Flash. The second movie was Flash. Chris Pine was meant to be Flash. It was meant to be Barry Allen in the movie, and apparently the end credit sequence was Ryan Reynolds' Green Lantern meeting Chris Pine's Flash. That's my drawing. I am Batman. Even with a cave at the back.
Yeah. That's awful edgy there. It's really edgy. He's a Batman in a white bat suit. So that's kind of edgy, right? Stick figure Batman. Let's see. Ryan Reynolds, Green Lantern. I don't know. I mean, I don't think he would do it, right? So
No.
we'll see there. All right. Joel Schumacher's Batman. So this is kind of weird, right? Because let's be fair here. Even though the Joel Schumacher movies weren't the same as the Tim Burton films, it was a continuation of that same universe, right? I mean, I haven't got a definitive answer on that, but a lot of people say that even though it feels different.
Gordon.
Yeah.
Like, so it's got the same Alfred.
Let's say here it goes, like Ryan Reynolds, George Clooney has no trouble making fun of the fact that his take on The Dark Knight in 1997's Batman and Robin buried the franchise for years. Seeing as how he has a good sense of humor about it all, why not show up for a brief appearance as the Schumacher-verse version of The Dark Knight? So I see they're trying to split up the Schumacher and the Burton world. Or should we call that the Bright Knight? And while we're at it, bring along Chris O'Donnell as an older Robin. We're pretty sure the audience would get a huge kick out of this. I don't know. I don't understand this one. I feel like this is still technically that same world. It's just a different actor portraying Bruce Wayne in that same world, right? I mean, that's what I'm thinking. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. I mean, I know that they've said that they thematically feel different, but yeah. What do you think about this one?
Can you see the drawing? I can definitely see it, stuck that up. I don't know what's going on with his right arm. It's dislocated. Yeah, this is stupid. This Nerdist article. They've jumped into is Anthony here? Because he might be the one that have written this article. Well, you drawing now. Is it a drawing competition?
Is it? I don't know if it is. I wish I had my tablet in here. I would connect it. And you guys could see it and not be bored while we're sitting here drawing. Maybe we should do that. Maybe I should get my tablet in here for drawing one night.
I don't know. You can show my weird drawing on the Flash if you want to.
We see. Where's it at? What is going on with this?
Don't ask me what's going on with that right arm. I think he's phased through his own neck with his dislocated right arm.
Here's a quick Batman on my card there. Look at that. How edgy is that?
I think mine was better.
How edgy is that one? He's looking right into your soul. Mine's in a white bat suit too. I need to change that up. I didn't color in the lines. Super edgy. Super edgy. I what are you laughing so hard about there?
Oh, how funny.
Oh, so yeah, that was the multiverse article there. I thought it was interesting because it had some cool choices, but yeah, clearly there's a few takes there that we don't necessarily.
I think it was like they had like 2 or 3 actual choices, and they had to fill up the list. They just chuck random stuff in there.
That's hilarious. So I think Noodle, you had some stuff up here. I don't know. I think it got buried. Let me go back. You were typing out a 3-part response and we had already moved on. But let me go back and see if I can find what you said. All right, here we go. I'm going to read all this out and then we'll respond to this. Multiverse never really worked in the comics. It always had continuity errors and brought confusion. 5 different Batmans. That's why they had Crisis. Rebirth and Doomsday Clock or keep rebooting. And then you go on here. I honestly see the Flash movie is very lazy. Why tell a good story when you could fill the movie with a bunch of cameos and say F the source material? And then thirdly, you say, I have no faith in the creative team and Ezra to pull this off. The screenwriter wrote Birds of Prey. Multiverse is really hard to pull off. And with this team, I don't see them doing good. So I can understand not having faith in the creative process. I get it. I'm not going to, what can I say? If you don't have faith in it, you don't have faith in it. But I do want to go back to the first part you had here. And this is kind of, I don't want to be insulting with this because I don't really know how else to go about this. But the concept of 5 different Batmen, how is that confusing to comic book fans? Honestly. I mean,
it's confusing. Yes, it'd be confusing to non-comic book fans, but this argument that's being made is in relation to specifically the comics.
Yeah, so if you're a comic book reader, by now you're very familiar with the passing of the mantle, time travel, the multiverse, alternate realities. All of these things are very common tropes in comic books. and it really just depends on what you do with them. So I don't really know. The only confusion that I can think of was pre the idea of the multiverse, and then the onset of that first multiverse, because you had the golden age, the silver age, and then the modern take on these characters. And so that part of it made the continuity weird. So then they had Crisis and they tried to clean it up, right? That was the whole point of that. I can understand how it would have been confusing before we kind of understood what a multiverse was. But once we'd established what it was and we rebooted and sort of started from square one, I don't really see how that's confusing anymore.
Well, honestly, I don't think you can sit there and go, oh my God, it's really confusing. 5 Batmans, the multiverse, it's causing all this confusion. When then on the single Earth and its single continuity outside of the multiverse, you have all these Robins, all these Green Lanterns and everything like that. And it's like, well, wouldn't that be in the same ballpark of being confusing? Like if you're going to say, oh, Batman, you go, which one? Well, then you can say Robin. Oh, which one? Green Lantern. Oh, which one? It's the same thing. So I don't know how you can really say the multiverse never really worked, because in my opinion, it did work. And then when they took the multiverse away, they realized they lost a major element of DC, and that's why they brought it back. Like New 52 worked at the beginning, but then it struggled with not having that multiverse aspect.
Yeah.
Also, not New 52, post-crisis.
Yeah. So I don't know. I kind of disagree with you, but as far as the thing about the Flash movie and the creative side of it, that's totally, that's just your personal thoughts on that. Dr. Smarty Pants with a $2 super chat. Just wanted to show you my support. Have a great day. Thank you so much for stopping in. Too.
Okay, you go first. You go first with your first one.
Okay. What did one toilet say to the other?
What's flushing?
Close. You looked flushed.
Oh wow.
That was that was it.
Oh,
is that a dad joke or a bad joke? Dad joke or bad joke? Let me know in the comment section below.
Oh, okay. Did you hear about the new movie, Constipation?
No.
Yeah, it never came out.
Dad joke or bad joke? That was kind of bad, honestly. Yeah. All right. How did the hairdresser win a marathon?
By the length of a hair.
She knew how to shortcut.
Oh, wow.
Dad joke or bad joke? You tell me. All right.
Okay.
So you got your last one?
How can you tell if an ant is a boy or a girl?
It's an ant, right? I have no idea.
They're all girls, otherwise they'd be uncles.
Dad joke or bad joke? I think that's a dad joke for sure. Definitely a dad joke on that one. All right. If you guys want to see the Thong Song video, it's on the join feature for Team Airrick. It's there. Check it out there. That's pretty much it, guys. So somebody asked if there's going to be another live stream before next week. I don't know. It really just depends. With the movie industry and TV industry being the way it is, I can't for sure say. But definitely next week we'll be doing one. So 2 things. Make sure you guys watch Superman Man of Tomorrow if you want to participate in that next week. And we're going to talk about New Mutants, I believe, next week as well. So there's that. And I can point this direction now. Village Einstein over here. Thank you so much for joining us in that really difficult game earlier.
Dankeschön.
Look, Tom says, can't wait for the big news tomorrow. Where's it at? Click this right there. Can't wait for big news tomorrow.
Oh, yeah, that after party curse.
The after party curse. Yeah, absolutely. So look, Canada graphs. Batwoman.
That's what it'll be. Batwoman starts filming, I think, in 2 days. They'll put her first look photo up tomorrow. The poster will come out. Here's Batwoman.
Yeah.
Suck on that, they'll say.
Jenna, I'm not doing a stream. I'm doing something recorded because I have something in mind that I want to do, and I want it to be really nice and very well done. So I'm going to do it as a actual video. So it'll be up this week, probably by the weekend, if I have a chance to get the stuff that I want for it. So there we go. All right, we're out. We'll see you guys next time. So hope you have a good week, and take care. Peace.